Hello everyone, welcome back to Fanblade. Hot on the heels of the last series where I was working on the largest instrument I've ever had on this workbench, we are completely switching it up and going for the smallest thing that's ever going to be on this workbench, and that of course is the Hohner B2. Now I featured this in a video a few months ago, and I had some unfortunate things to say about it.
I am not a fan. A better neck would make this thing an actual useful instrument. I think I'll put these pickups in my Les Paul because that'd be an improvement on both fronts.
Now, I've got to throw myself on the mercy of the court. I was wrong. I completely screwed that up. I took this to a gig after filming that, and it just sounded so good. I completely forgot about the size of the neck, and I absolutely fell in love with this thing. I did, however, still have the idea that these pickups might be quite nice to have in my Les Paul. Because as much as I love this bass, these pickups, they never really quite did it for me. They don't sound bad, but I always like to have a bit more clarity in my tone and a bit more definition, and these are just a little bit dark for my tastes, so much so that I even disconnected the tone knobs just to take them out of the circuit completely, and it just gave it a little bit of sparkle back, but nowhere near as much as these, let me get this right, early 1985 EMG Select pickups that are in that bass there. I didn't want to pull this one apart to put the pickups in here, so I got a third candidate, and this thing's got some severe problems. It's perfect for stripping for parts, so that's largely what's going to happen today. Let me clear the bench and I'll talk you through it. Now, the white one is the slightly older of the two. It's dated by its serial number 85, and of course they came out in 1985, so you have to assume that it's probably from the later part of that year, whereas this one, the serial number begins 8603. We can assume that it's from the earlier part of 1986, so that there's probably only 6 months, give or take, between these two, but in that time they did make a couple of interesting choices. Now, the neck on this one is very weird because it not only tapers lengthwise, it also tapers thickness-wise, and that was my initial complaint about it. I didn't notice it so much when I was actually playing it on stage. It sounded so good that I stopped caring. That concern disappeared from me entirely. However, they did actually fix it. This thing doesn't taper thickness-wise. This is a nice neck. I really like this one. It's got the same pickups, I'm happy to say. They are EMG Select, so I think that's designed by EMG. I would have to look up my EMG history to know about that one. But then the bridge is slightly different as well, whereas this one's got sort of some very faint lettering and a whole lot of screws are sort of bolting it down. On the other one, the screws have gone, the lettering is bolder, but unfortunately it is actually missing a saddle, so yeah, that's a bit of an issue. This one is also missing its flip stand. I have a flip stand on this one. I will be transplanting that very shortly. Also, I don't know if you can see from that angle on this camera, but there is a gigantic crack in this body. Honestly, I suspect the only thing that's holding this chunk of the body on is the pickups, and maybe whatever screws are holding the bridge down. There's not a whole lot left. It's also got a smashed pot there. There is no knob that will go on that. It also looks like there's a hairline crack I've just spotted running up the centre of the control cavity. I would love to think that I could salvage this body, but I think it's probably just a write-off. The hardware is of far more value to me. Obviously, the kickstand can go on this bass. These pickups can go into the Les Paul, and then if I can find, or possibly even make, a new bridge block, then I'll have everything I need to build my own headless bass. So that's where we're at. I'm going to strip it for parts. We'll get a close look at the full extent of the damage, and then we'll use its bits to make other basses better. obviously the temptation right now is to give this body wing a little bit of a wiggle just to see if it'll separate entirely. I don't necessarily know if I want that, because if it does separate, then of course, I have to glue it back on. That'll mean cleaning up the glue join that's in there, because these wings are both glued onto a central, it's a neck-through core. So let's just see how bad this is. It doesn't look like it's split all the way to the end, but we're about to find out. Yep, that is a busted glue join. Wow, nice to see, all maple. And yeah, I can feel plenty of old glue in there. I'll tell you what, I don't particularly want to do this job right now, so I am going to set all of this aside, and we'll look at it later. Right now, I've got a new home for these pickups to go to. I suppose it would be a somewhat missed opportunity if I didn't record some before and after sound clips, so yeah. Doing a pickup swap is probably one of the simplest mods you can do to any bass. I mean, most of the time it is literally just a screwdriver and a soldering iron and you're good to go. This one will be slightly more complicated though, because we've got 2 height adjustment screws, whereas 99.8% of all the pickups ever made only ever have the one. So we'll need to pop some extra holes in those. I did think about 3D printing some new ones. All of my 3D printing filament that I have on hand is black. So I kind of like the cream. I just want to keep that aesthetic going. And I don't think it's going to look too weird with swapping the chrome out for black. I think that's going to look fine. I can't see that being a problem. The other thing is that, yes, I have already been into this control cavity and I've done stuff in there. Of course, the tone knobs are not part of anything. I've also wired it in stereo. Now, I want to keep all of that intact. I just want to keep that the way that is. I'm literally just going to swap the wires over. And, yeah, this would be good. I've just spotted something that I never actually knew before, and this body is made from the same templates, probably on the same CNC machine as they would use for the Les Paul guitar versions of this, because this trench through this pickup cavity, that goes all the way down there and all the way back up there to where there would be a switch, which means that I actually have the option of putting a switch in there. I'm probably not going to, because let's face it, the last thing I really need is a switch up there that I'm going to bump. It's just interesting to know that that's there. I had no idea. Cool. We'll go back through the studio, I'll get it all tuned up. It's worth saying as well at this point, what you are hearing is both pickups on full. That's how I'm testing these. I'm not doing anything with the stereo switching, I'm not doing any sort of mixing or anything like that, so that we're comparing each setup with itself. Well, that's a result. That's got quite a lot more sort of presence. It's got a lot more definition. It's approaching jazz bass territory without remotely looking or feeling like a jazz bass. Yes. I was thinking about pickup placement as well, and if we just take the piece that broke off the original body and sort of try and approximately work out where the bridge saddles would go, then yeah, I think what it is that this pickup is dead in line with where it would have been on the original body. This pickup's just ever so slightly forward from where it was, which is no bad thing. It's no bad thing at all. Now, that does of course beg the question, what's going to happen to this piece of wood? Well, I've got a few ideas about what to do with this one. I think that a full restoration isn't really on the cards because I have stolen the pickups, and I will just make some of my own to go on this, but then gluing that bit of wood on there isn't quite enough because there's a lot of damage to the finish, both front and back. It's particularly bad on the back. And of course I need to do something with that pot as well. But I'm going to do far more than any of that. I've got ideas. You will have to come back next week and find out what they are. Is it a veneer? Maybe. Maybe it's a veneer. Maybe not. You'll have to come back. So yes, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for subscribing. And I will see you next week. Thank you.